first proposal is a financial transaction tax, the nominal fee of Wall Street transactions. Cut down on gambling and bad behavior that led to the financial crisis. Put into effect, this would raise $921 billion over the next 10 years. It's been introduced in Congress by Congressman Keith Ellison from Minnesota and Senator Bernie Sanders from Vermont. The second proposal is to tax capital gains as ordinary income, essentially asking those who make their money from picking stocks to pay the same tax rate for those folks who punch a time card every day. This change alone will raise $613 billion over the next 10 years. The third proposal is to put an end to the deferral of offshore profits that corporations use to hide their money in offshore tax shelters. This change alone will raise $601 billion over the next 10 years. And the fourth proposal is to adjust the federal estate tax. This is a levy on the intergenerational transfer of wealth. It's been adopted by the Bush tax cuts to give a big tax break to the wealthiest members of society. Currently, 0.2% of the population pay the tax. Changing this as well as closing loopholes in the tax would raise $530 billion over 10 years. And lastly, I'd like folks to consider a tax on wealth as encouraged by Thomas Piketty in his famous Capital in the 21st Century. This change alone, if you look at taxing just 1% of the wealth of the top 1%, would raise $2.5 trillion over the next 10 years. So again, I'd like to encourage you to think about there's plenty of money out there and it's worth considering revenue.
Sounds like you've been doing your homework. So we appreciate that. Josh, thank you very much for being here. Are there any questions from members of the committee? Seeing that again.